Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and we are here in the rotunda of the Hyatt Regency in Dallas, Texas for the Leanscaper Financial Intensive. We're joined with Mark Sedgley, CEO of Element and Greenius. Is that the right title?
And SingleOps.
And SingleOps.
Yeah.
So, man, what a journey to get here. We just had a little bit of a conversation before we hit record, and I want to dive into that a little bit more, but welcome to the show, man. Thanks for spending some time with us.
I really appreciate you having me on, Jeremiah. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited. It's what a time to be alive, man. It's the day and age that we live in. This week has been rough. This week's been rough for a lot of people if you're listening real time. So this is September the 15th here, right after a big week, right after 9/11, tragic event with Charlie Kirk, and it's just been a tough week. And sometimes social media gets a bad rap, right? A lot of times social media gets a bad rap. But I think that technology and social media as a whole can be used very positively. This whole thing right here, as far as our podcast goes and these relationships, it's literally built off of social media and technology.
Yeah, 100%.
And that is one of the benefits to come from it. The people that we get to meet, the networking that we get to do, the relationships we get to build comes from this. And so I'm super thankful for that. Super thankful for you guys watching and listening here. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a big thumbs up there. You get to see my face twice, unfortunately, behind Mark and in front of Mark. But
well, you actually have a face for it. I don't. Right? So,
no. You got a face for radio. Is that what they say?
Exactly, or nothing.
Well, Mark, I want to be respectful of your time today, but I do want to get a little bit of backstory, just kind of on Mark Sedgley, right? Like, what does Mark Sedgley's life look like up till now? That process of growing, developing as a human and as a leader, right? Yeah. Because you don't get into this role that you're in now without growing yourself.
Sure.
And you've been in a lot of rooms with a lot of people, and that's taught you a lot of things, I'm sure. So I want you to take it away and give us however long you want to, rundown of your growth journey to where you are now. And you never stop growing. I hear the conversations you have. You're always learning. But catch us up to today on Mark Sedgley, family, what that looks like to get here.
Yeah, I mean, today, my family first. I mean, I'm glad you brought that up because it's the most important thing to me in my personal life, which is my wife, who I've been married to since I've been with her since I was 18, met her in high school. So high school sweethearts, and I have 3 incredible children, Jake, Ashton, and Kaya, and 17, 15, and 10. Kaya runs the ship.
Exactly.
Sure, yeah.
Will that thing bend up any just a little bit?
Yeah, of course.
There you go, more crisp.
Yeah,
there you go.
Okay, cool. Well, I need to be more crisp. So
I always think it's one of those things, if you're sitting here in a perfect world, it sounds good, but guys out on a mower, you have that in your background, it's like you got to be really popping.
That's good, yeah. That's a good point. You know what? That's professional know-how right there.
It is. It is. The first podcast Mark and Benji did for Leanscaper, I was like, great content, good quality, got to bump the volume up. You can't hear it on a mower.
That's awesome.
That just comes from doing it. But so daughter runs the show.
Daughter runs the show. She's a CEO. So my family is incredible.
Yeah.
And I take it very seriously. I drove straight from a soccer game to the airport and flew down here.
Yeah.
So, the way I got here, Jeremiah, is like a very long and kind of winding road. It's not a traditional path for a tech CEO, I guess. But as we were talking about earlier, I ended up helping to start a company. There was a couple of founders already in it. There was a guy that I went to college with, and they were kind of trying to figure out how to grow this tiny little tech startup in Atlanta, Georgia. And I got a phone call, and Matt Simpson said, hey, we're really having a hard time figuring out how to grow this thing. You're really good at selling stuff, because I went door to door in college and sold books.
Yeah.
I
was it encyclopedias back then?
100%. Southwest
I've heard
Books.
the stories.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. It's one of the hardest jobs you'll ever do. I also started my very first job was a mower and a weed whacker in the back of my car, with a little bungee cord to hold the trunk down so that my stuff doesn't fall out. And so I've always had a knack for being able to sell people stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And so he asked me to come in. There was no revenue, Jeremiah. It was a bunch of people who just like a bunch of dudes who just didn't know what to do. Right.
But they had a good idea.
They had a really good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, fast forward, I helped them grow that business. We grew it from zero revenue to many, many millions in revenue. We took on private equity investment, grew it even faster, did acquisitions. And along that path, I just kept taking on, I always have had like, what can I do to help mentality? Like, I just want to help,
Yeah.
And so I just kept taking on bigger chunks of the operation. I did every job in the business except for, writing code. And I became the CEO. And then I sought out investment, attracted a bunch of high caliber private equity investors. And then ultimately in 2020, we sold it to a big competitor of ours.
Yeah.
And then they asked me to integrate the 6 companies that they bought and rebrand them. And I did that. And then I really did not enjoy working for somebody else. And so I said, it's time for me to go. And so I took over, ever since then, I've just kind of taken over for founders.
Okay.
So I took over a towing management software platform where I took over for 9 founders.
Really?
We bought 9 companies and put them together and launched a brand called Trexero. And then my job was to find a person to merge with, and I did that. And so after that, I got invited into SingleOps, which is more of a tree care software platform. It's not really a landscaping software. And
I feel like they tried a little bit.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, not well.
I was on it for a little bit.
Yeah,
It's a very small period of time.
And most people have very strong opinions on whether it was good or not. I tend to agree with them, so hence why I acquired Element.
Yeah.
And so I took over for the founder there as well. And was running that for a year, and I was talking to my investors, and I said, hey, listen, we need to get into the landscape market.
Yeah.
We're not good at it. We're going to sit here and bang our heads and spend a ton of money trying to build something that's already here.
Yeah.
And I had already looked at the marketplace, and Element was perfectly placed. It serves the small to mid-sized business segment of the community. Small to mid-sized business, Jeremiah, for whatever reason, has just always highly motivated me as a human.
But continue. I want to come back to
that.
that.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, because you said something earlier that I think that it is easy to get overlooked. You don't get to this point in life without helping people, right? Yeah. And you just said, in passing, because it's who you are, it's your personality, you just want to help. You just have a heart to help people, right? By going and acquiring that small to mid-sized business, you're making real impact. Right. Like, you're not acquiring that small to mid-sized business, acquiring the company that serves those businesses, right? Yeah. You're having real impact in real people's lives, right? You're not walking into some conglomerate and saying, here, let's make more money, right? Like, you were making impact in my life, right? The small business owner, right? And so you just get to do that time after time after time, and it grows and grows and grows. Like, that is why you know that, but like that, to me, it's like that's why I see from the outside looking in, that's why you are attracted to those businesses, because that's where real impact is made.
100%. Yeah. I mean, that's why I was attracted to towing.
Yeah.
Towers or small business owners.
Small business, one guy in a truck usually.
100%. Yeah. And so the small business aspect of it, it's the largest part of the marketplace too, by the way. And so it's the opportunity to do exactly what you just said, is help the most people, right? And I want my ethos and my job and all of our jobs at Element is to build software that helps you and the rest of the operations out there, landscaping companies that are out there, to thrive. Yeah. We take that super seriously. And so we were able to acquire Element. I had reached out to Mark Bradley and introduced myself and said, hey, I'm new to the game. Maybe you can teach me some tricks. And he was willing to have those conversations. And then I made up a reason to be in Toronto. And it's like, hey, I'm in Toronto. Do you like steak and wine? I've told this story a million times now. But he said yes. Yeah. And so we sat down and had a conversation. And we happened to have more in common than not. Yeah. Right? We cared about a lot of the similar things.
Heart to help.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Care for the industry. Yeah. And I will say, like, I've worked in nonprofits. I've worked in towing. I've worked in tree care, I've worked in landscaping now.
Yeah.
This green industry is pretty unique.
It is. That's really cool to hear you say that, because like I know no other life, right? I started in high school,
100%.
worked it all the way through, so this is all I know. The last 3 to 5 years really getting in social media, podcast game, like meeting people across the country. I just feel like this is something that most industries don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and to hear you say that from someone who's been in multiple others is very like encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, and I think too is just the nature of the type of person it takes to start a landscaping company.
Yeah,
it's a different type of person. Like there's
grit. That's what comes to mind.
Hardworking.
Yeah.
Typically really good at like talking with people. Like just think about all the special qualities that have to come together to make you good at what you do, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you first started, Of course your skill sets have to evolve as you get larger, and there's more employees to manage, and more equipment to make sure that you're handling correctly, and more customers, a diversified customer if you're trying to diversify your business line, right?
Diversified employees.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You start really changing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it forces you to find connection.
Yeah.
Connective tissue, right? And so for me, small businesses do a couple things, and I will preach this from the mountaintop. I don't care how many podcasts I do, how many interviews I'll ever do. I will keep saying the same thing because it's absolutely true. Small businesses make up the fabric of America and Canada.
Yeah.
Like that's where we are. Those are the two countries we serve. And if you go to any community across Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, New York, New Jersey, California, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you are. Go to a baseball field.
Yeah.
You will see sponsored by a landscaping company, right? And that tells me that landscaping companies are making impacts in communities. Yep. They're supporting, right, the kind of like essence of what people really congregate around in small towns. It also means they're employing people in those communities, which is where economy happens, right? And like those are people that are, going to the grocery store and buying clothes and back to school stuff. And I'm a capitalist through and through. Yeah. Like I love the idea of people making money based off of the work that they do and creating prosperity for themselves and their family and those around them. Like that's really powerful to me.
Yeah.
I've always been motivated that way. And so I think that's the other intrinsic thing that I just love about this industry is like, it does seem to kind of come through in flying colors when you talk with folks and go out in the field and like sit with them in their, at their facilities and at their locations and ride in the trucks with them and all that kind of stuff. So I love that.
Talk to me about that. So you've been on the road a lot. I feel like I keep up with you as you go, and a lot of site visits, a lot of customer visits, right?
Yeah.
What is has there been anything that's been glaring, like hitting you in the face for some of these, maybe the bigger companies, the smaller companies, a mix, something that's constant across all of them that you've seen that's like good, bad, or ugly? Just something. What's a constant that you've seen across all of these customer visits you've had in the last year?
They don't realize how good they are.
Really?
Yeah. Like I think part of it is that just this deep desire to continuously improve, which I think is a good thing.
I think it can't be taken too far sometimes.
I couldn't agree with you more, Jeremiah, when you said that. And so, like, I every place I go, it is inevitable, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
When I go somewhere and I'm like, well, can you talk to me a little bit about your revenue? Where are you? Oh, we're only we're only like $2 million in revenue. It's like, $2 million in revenue? Like, do you know how hard it is? I know you know how hard it is because you did it.
You're doing it right now.
Exactly. It is really hard to do that.
Yeah.
Right? And I remind people that they are running really good businesses, even though it doesn't feel like in the moment you are. Yeah. Right? And so I think that is definitely, and it doesn't matter. We're only $10 million in revenue.
Yeah.
We're only $20 million in revenue. It's like, okay, guys, come on. Like, these are really good businesses that are really awesome.
Yeah.
There's no reason to apologize for them. Stop doing that. And because they're good. And I think there is a little bit of this kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Because you're doing it.
It's imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
That's what that is.
100%, yeah.
And I wonder, do you think social media has, I know my opinion on this, do you think social media has really amped up that imposter syndrome because they see so much other, like 20, 30, 40 years ago, you knew what was going on in your business and the local business around you. That was it, right? Now I know what's going on in Australia with somebody's business, right?
For sure.
So like it's very easy to look and say, well, this dude's doing this dude's got this truck, this dude's got this amount of employees, right? Then it's very easy to sit there and be like, well, I just can't figure it out, right? Yeah, we're not good enough.
Yeah, they must be so much more
Literally.
skilled and successful.
But social media is a highlight reel.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Yeah, so it would be impossible for me to say no to that, I think.
Yeah.
For sure. Social media kind of, it's like, here's the glitz and the glam.
Yeah.
You know? But I also just think, too, like, there's too much content out there telling people, like, hey, you can be doing better, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, actually, Heather earlier, she said the same thing. It's like, you know, there's a lot of stuff out there telling you that you're actually not doing a good enough job, when in reality, you're doing a really good job, you know? And so,
oh, man, yeah.
I think it's really important to focus in on, like, what do I, and later today, I'm going to talk about, like, what is it that I do great?
Yeah.
Right? And I bet it's really hard for people to say out loud, like, I do this great. You know, but it's really important to understand, like, figure out what you do great in your business, because you should do more of that, a lot more of it. Because if you do a lot of something that you're really, really good at, there's a good chance you're going to get more customers and you're going to have a very successful business.
And you have to be okay telling yourself that you're doing great at something from not a you're not coming at it from a pride point of view.
For sure.
You're just like, hey, this, like, look at the facts. Like, we are doing good through this. And so what's something that Mark Sedgley does great?
Communicate. I've always been a very strong communicator.
Yeah.
You know, it's a blessing for sure. I write a lot. I think that helps. You know, in the mornings I get up and I write a ton. I always have. I don't know why.
Have you been a big journal guy?
Yeah.
Journal? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been taken on different variations. Sometimes it's simple. Sometimes it's long. Every week I write a note to the company called the Captain's Log.
Yeah.
If you're for any Star Trek fans out there. And so I write a long piece about, like, sometimes it's short, sometimes it's long. It's like, hey guys, this is something that's on my mind that I'm thinking about, and I want you to be thinking about it too. Because a long time ago, a good friend of mine, colleague, somebody I worked with and I really respected, he was like, Mark, you've got to learn how to share the burden. And all of us are carrying around burdens with us.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I'm thinking about this, like, I need to solve this problem, or this customer issue is super difficult. I don't know how I'm going to get through it, whatever, employees, whatever. But the moment you share the burden and just tell somebody, like, hey, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm thinking about this.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed at how many people offer up something and you're like, damn, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I need to do that. I need to try that, you know? And so I share my burden with the company every week. Sometimes it's like designed to be motivating. Sometimes it's designed just to be like, hey, you need to be thinking about this too, because together we are better in solving this problem.
Have you gotten good feedback from that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If I don't do it, like Johnny on the spot every Monday morning, I'll get, communication saying like, hey, you good? Or is there going to be a log today? You know, it's like, yeah, I'm running. I'm
takes a minute.
I'm running a little behind today.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's good. So.
That's amazing, man. Yeah. Well, so talk to me a little bit about, we talked about a heart for helping, right? And you helping a lot of people at Element. And we'll talk about Element a little bit, but we want to talk a little bit higher level than that today. We talk about Element a lot on the show. Leadership, right? And growing that over the course of, when was your first role as a CEO? Can you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I took over for the original founder of MemberClicks, was the software company that I helped start, in 2011.
So 14 years, 15 years now, almost.
Sure, yeah.
So over the course of that time, right, you've led a lot of people.
For sure.
And you led a lot of people before that too. Like, let's not forget that.
Yeah.
But talk to me about that evolution of leadership. And maybe it is that when you were just that guy that was coming in to help those guys come up with the idea, right, how to put it to paper, right? And then you transition into this role of moving up in the company. And then you're CEO of the first company, right? Like, what does that look like for you in getting in these diversification of employees and people? And, like, I feel like one of the humans' toughest things to manage and do well is how to communicate with people and how to manage people, right? From a point of true, like, real deep-hearted, like, leadership. Like, a good, like, I'm invested in you, I want to see you grow, not like a, hey, you do what I say type thing.
Correct.
So what does that look like for you, that journey of leadership across? I know it's a broad question.
No, it's a good question.
But what does that look like?
For me, I learned how to lead. I mean, of course, I played sports my whole life.
What a connection.
Yeah, and I was always captains of the team, and I think it was because I was just always so outspoken.
Yeah.
The other reason why is I wasn't very talented. As an athlete, I really just had to work harder than everybody else.
Yeah.
Which I think also helped create this feeling of I can influence people through effort and example. And so you're right. I did not require a CEO title to lead people.
Yeah.
in fact, I would say that I started influencing people the day that I showed up, right? And so I think that's, from an evolution perspective, I've probably gotten way better at being like, from the technicals of being a CEO, like execution on P&L, like how to take financial goals and create a vision around that. Like that does take skill and development and over a course of time. But from a leadership perspective, I've always just sought a couple of things that I think have always made me be able to kind of influence people and get them to follow me, And the most valuable lesson I've ever learned, Jeremiah, in getting people to follow is be curious about them.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're just curious and ask them questions and you really want to seek to understand what they're all about and what their goals are and what they want to accomplish, all of a sudden kind of the rest of the bullshit, pardon my French, fades away. It's like, okay, well, now I know what's important to you.
Yep.
And
you know how to help. Like, you know how to push them towards that.
Correct. Yeah. You can partner.
Yeah. Because some people it's not money. Some people it's not time.
No.
Some people you don't know until you find out.
Impact, outcomes, whatever it may be, right?
Yeah.
And I tell my kids all the time, and I really mean this when I say it, if it's important to you, it's important to me. If you make what's important to somebody else important to you, they will follow you to the ends of the earth and back.
Yep.
Right? And so we got a lot of feedback saying like, hey, health insurance is really important to us. Like, great. We're going to double down and create a much better benefits program for you. Hey, we really like the ability to develop our careers. Great. We're going to put together a stipend that helps, fund that for you, right? And just keep asking questions. Keep surveying your employees. Sit down and do skip levels. Do one-on-ones. Actually go and, for me, sit in the help queue and see what the questions are that they're having to answer and look at it and put your feet in their shoes.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably the single easiest way to get people to follow you is because they feel like you genuinely care about what they're trying to do. Yeah. And you do, but like it's hard to exhibit that sometimes unless you just go do it and be curious and ask them questions and seek to understand.
I'm sure you've been in many rooms, many circles of other high-level CEOs. Have you seen a pattern, like the best ones that lead the best teams get in there with their people like that? Like, have you seen that pattern recognition of really caring about what their employees want and care about, or what have you seen?
I think it's a very complicated answer to that question, so I'll just keep it succinct. It's pretty amazing to me how successful some people can be doing it a different way, right? Yeah. And I do think that's another lesson of leadership, Jeremiah. Like, don't try and be somebody you aren't, right? Like, if this is what has been defined as a leader for somebody else, that doesn't necessarily mean that's how you're going to lead, right? Because the second rule of leadership is I've realized that authenticity really matters. Like, if you can't just be who you are at your like DNA, the center, it's not going to work. And so there's a lot of people that at their DNA, they are command and control, and they're very successful at command and control, right? That's not me. Yeah. I'm not a command and control guy, right? But I've seen other CEOs, to answer your question, in the room, and they're like command and control guys, and they're very good at it.
And they probably have people that want to be led like that.
Correct. Yeah. And that's the key. And it's, again, I'm going to talk about it later today, is like, you have to define what your core values are operationally, not honesty, integrity, respect, love. Those are table stakes. Like, cool, you're a good human. Thank you. Right? Yeah. You really need to define as a company, and we had to do this, is like, what are our operational values? Like, what motivates us? What are the types of people we want to surround ourselves with, right? And so we really are motivated by people who work hard and give the extra 1%. We're really motivated by people who put we before me, like put others before they put themselves. And these are things that you can start to interview for, review people on, and create kind of like a flywheel effect within an operation to create goodness. And some people, like, think about the best companies in the world. Oracle is a phenomenally successful company. It is a totally different company than, Amazon in the way they run themselves and their ethos. Like, Oracle is a very kind of like cold, like self-serve organization that's cutthroat in terms of like you either swim or die, you know what I mean? Yeah. And Amazon had this kind of like warm, fuzzy, like we sell books online. It's changed, of course, over the years, but like there's so many different successful companies out there that run themselves so differently. Yeah, exactly. And so I think you just, to thyself be true. Yeah.
To thyself be true. That's good. Yeah. That's very good. As you go and talk to these landscape business owners, green industry business owners that are out there, see if you can talk to someone who is sub $1 million in revenue, someone in my shoes who is building out their leadership team, building their employees. How do you already mentioned, talk about what's important to them. How do you spot and develop your next leader behind you?
Yeah. So it's one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
As a leader, right? And so one of the things that I've always been super receptive of is when somebody genuinely is curious about the business, you lean in to them. It doesn't matter if they're good, by the way. Like, I think that's the big mistake people make. It's like, well, they've got to be really good at what they're doing before I make them a leader. Well, great. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, every day would be Christmas, right? That's what my dad used to tell me. So instead, what I would seek is like, is there somebody that's asking a lot of questions, like, why do we do it that way? Or why should we, execute a hardscape, by this standard operating procedure? Why do we do the rollouts the way that we do them? Why do we fill up the trucks on the way? Like, if they're asking questions like that, it's like, lean in. I don't care if they're 17, 35. It doesn't matter. Like, done it for years or this is their first job. Lean into those people. And then I think the other thing too is like, if anybody on your team in any way, shape, or form demonstrates just a desire to go one step further than what you asked them to go, lean in.
Yeah.
And that's how you spot them. It's like, because once you start to pour into them, they feel that coming to them. And it just reinforces like the good, stuff that you've seen out of them. But more importantly, they'll probably start to show you they can do more than than you might have thought they could. So,
yeah. They have hidden talents in there you didn't even know about.
100%.
Yeah. Have you seen that? Like, the people you never thought would really excel at something, they just like take off.
I'll tell you a funny story, Jeremiah. And I won't bore everybody, but like, I remember when I was hiring for a salesperson at MemberClicks, and we really needed a salesperson, and I was trying to get out of the day-to-day sales, be more of a manager, And I interviewed this guy. His name was Duncan McCrary. His resume was potato farmer and college graduate. I was like, what in the world?
Yeah.
Like, what makes you qualified to be a salesperson?
You were that desperate to interview.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what stuck out to me.
100%. And so I brought him in, and I had done 100 interviews at this point, and we sat down and started talking. And I was like, I don't get it, Duncan. Like, you don't strike me as a salesperson, so what makes you qualified, to be a salesperson? He's like, absolutely nothing. Like, I just really need a job. And this is a super interesting business, and I want to learn more. And I was like, great. I walked into my other partner's office and I said, hey, I think I just hired the single worst salesperson of my entire career, but I think he's going to make a huge impact on this company. Fast forward 10 years later, he was the chief product officer. He's been the chief product officer at 3 different companies since, wildly successful. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, going back to that moment and saying to myself, like, what was it about him? He was really willing to communicate, very open to feedback, and asked a ton of questions, and was honest with himself. Like, I am not qualified to be a salesperson, but I know I can learn, And he was a terrible salesperson, by the way.
Really?
I tell him still to this day, like, you were the worst salesperson.
So he didn't end up excelling in the sales role?
No. Yeah, he did for like 6 months, and I was like, I got to get you out of this role as fast as possible.
So what did you transition him to after that?
Yeah, so basically what he ended up doing is, at the time, there's like this term in software world called customer success.
Yeah.
It's designed to help customers use the software better, right? It's different than support. It's like more proactive. When I started,
Stephen Bennett.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, 100%.
The best customer success on the planet.
Good dude. Yeah, and also great dude. Yeah. And so, customer success, the term didn't even exist.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, I need you to be the head of my maximization team.
Okay. Yeah.
I can see why customer success thrived and maximization didn't. Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of branding legs. But I said, like, look, we've got to figure out a way to get our customers to use the key parts of our product. The product inside and out. He did. He learned it like very quickly. And you see where people make a lot of mistakes. Go start that team. And that's how he started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you saw, all because you saw something deeper in a potato farmer.
100%.
Like, yeah.
Even
though it wasn't a role that like he needed to be in.
Hire people that exhibit all your core values, your operating core values, because I think people get too caught up in hard skills and don't spend enough time on core values, right? Because you have a mission.
Yeah.
You know, you want to accomplish goals. You have core values that you bring to your business every single day. And think about the people that you enjoy working with the most. They exhibit those values as well, right?
Yeah.
It's not like they exhibit opposite values to that. And so I think once I learned hire for core values and don't hire for skills, it really changed the game for me.
Literally, that has been the breakthrough for me this year.
Yeah.
Like we've built a real hiring process, and it's like it doesn't have to be that in depth.
No.
You just base it off your core values. Like that is literally how you get through the interview process.
Correct.
Like, and you have your formalities, right? But like, if you don't embody these, there's no spot here.
Right.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, there's no spot here. And it's just like that is all you need to know. There's no other vetting process. It's like you either do or you don't. It's real simple.
Because the rest is up to you.
Yeah.
That's right. Like if you've like gotten through this screen,
Yep.
like the really important stuff, I'll make you good at whatever I need you to get
Exactly.
good at, right? And so
we've seen that. Like this is probably the best guy that I've ever hired back in the spring of this year. Came in as a salesman, first salesman ever. Like what are we going to do? How are we going to figure it out? Well, he technically came in as he was going to run a maintenance crew, right?
got it.
Numbers didn't work. He was going to leave. I was like, no, not leaving, because I see it, right?
Yeah.
Embodies everything, checks all the marks. Like he's here to see us grow, buys in the vision. Well, turns just use sales, make a sales guy. Did sales for six months, and it just wasn't like needle wasn't moving.
Yeah.
Needle wasn't moving. He had done roofing sales in the past.
Got it.
Totally different world.
It is.
Totally different world, right? And so needle just wasn't moving, and so we had to have a conversation of like kind of restructuring back to more of a maintenance role, giving some more incentives to still move the needle some, get some commission, things like that. But it's that exact same thing of like it wasn't the best fit. That sales role was not a good fit for him. But he's here and he's really invested in what we're doing, and like we're gonna figure out a position to make him grow, and he's gonna help our business grow in the end because of it. Because he is that person. Like I hired him for his values and who he is, not the skills that he has to go sell someone.
No doubt. And he always sounds like the kind of guy that has exhibited the ability to be like, I don't know, but I'll go do it.
He will. He literally will. He's like, I'll figure it out.
Right.
Just tell me what you want me to do.
And if you're growing a small business, those are the type of people you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be able to put people in these nice, tidy little, like, defined roles.
No.
You know? That was a luxury, Jeremiah, as we got bigger. It's like, oh, you can just focus on this.
Yeah.
That's a luxury of, like, success and growth over a course of time.
Which I feel like you have to, correct me if I'm wrong, when you know you're going to be pivoting like this, right, you're going to be back and forth a little bit and I'm just going to be able to devote you here, that's on you as the entrepreneur and the business owner, the CEO in some cases, to cast the vision for them.
Correct.
Right? Because they have to know that what they're doing, this pivoting, this time they're going through, is going to pay off for them.
Correct.
Right? Like they have to be serving a bigger purpose and a bigger vision than them doing this pivoting role where they can go somewhere else, make more money, and do one thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing.
and
That's the hard part.
It is, but also asking them, like, what motivates you helps you
Yeah.
cast that vision for them,
Yeah.
right? And then I'm going to circle back to the same thing. You want to surround yourself with people who are really highly motivated by stuff like that.
Yep.
Like one of your core operating values sounds like dexterity. It's like you've got to be able to do a lot of different things. You can't just be good at one thing, you know. You need technicians. Like whether they're
100%.
just great at something.
Yeah.
And they can crank through a retaining wall or
Yeah.
you know, they can lay a driveway faster than anybody, you know, and do it without warranty claims, right? Same thing in my business. I need somebody that's really good at sales.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, you don't have that luxury.
Exactly.
You need people that can like figure it out.
Yeah. And that figured out mentality is how you grow.
Correct.
But that again, that comes back to like you're not going to be able to get someone with a get it done mentality, figure out mentality with a poor vision.
That's
like
right.
they're going to go work for someone who's giving them something else.
Yeah. This is what you're shooting for.
Yeah.
This is what we're trying to accomplish together.
Yeah.
In partnership with each other, right?
Oh, it's good stuff. I won't hold you too long. We'll wrap up here in a minute. But so I do business coaching with a friend of mine. He's actually here, Pat Murray. You probably know Pat.
Oh, yeah. I've never met him, actually. Yeah.
Never met him. Okay. Well, I'm going to introduce you to Pat. You need to know Pat. Pat needs to know you. Really great guy. Him and his partner Ken own Local Roots in
PA.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
So Pat, we do some one-on-one, and we had a really good call this week. And this year's been an up and down year for us. We've gone through some stuff. It's just been a weird year, and we've really broke through on our last call this week. And we figured out, I think, a big catch point for us is, and it never really, it hasn't like stuck out to me. But when we talked about it, and broke it down in conversation, I was like, that makes sense. Figuring out. So I cast my company vision, right? I cast my high mission statement, our company vision, right? We're doing that. Breaking it down to a job level of what the mission of this job is. like something just clicked. And have you seen that through your, like, as you've grown and maybe specific product launches you've rolled out, or maybe that is an example, right? Like you roll out a new feature, right, in software. What is the mission for that feature rollout?
Such a great question.
Right? Like that's what I feel like is it gets your people so much more involved in like, let's do this so well.
Yeah.
Because they know they know LMN's vision, and my guys know Growing Green's vision, but they don't know the job mission.
Mm-hmm. So this might be helpful to everybody, and it might just be like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of, Mark. So I'm going to
it'll probably be pretty good.
I'm going to take a risk. So we run I've always run my companies on something called V2M2.
Okay.
Vision, values, methods, measures.
Okay.
The 2 V's, the 2 M's.
Yep.
And you do have a corporate vision and you do have a corporate mission, but every year is not the same year.
Yeah.
Like there might be a year where you're like, hey, we got to grow this year. The next year we've got to operationalize and get more efficient this year. The next year we might need to diversify our business lines so that we can set the foundation for growth in the future. Those are different visions annually.
Yeah.
And it could be quarterly, right? And so I adopted this vision, values, mission, methods, and measures methodology from Mark Benioff. He did it at Salesforce. Now, I'm not a huge Mark Benioff fan, but like he got this right.
Yeah.
And so every year we set a new vision for that year.
Okay.
And then every year we talk about the values that might be outside of our core values to deliver on that vision.
Yeah.
And then we talk about, well, what are the methods that we will need to use in order to hit that vision? And then how are we going to measure our success thereof? But that's for the company.
Yeah.
But then I make everybody departmentally, my sales team, my product team, my engineering team, my support team, my success team, my onboarding team, come up with their own vision, values, methods, and measures that tie back
to that,
so that everybody knows that the thing that they're doing is really important to the big thing that we want to accomplish together. Correct. So that's how we connect those dots.
That's really good. Yeah, that's huge, and especially at a level like what Element is now, it makes total sense. And on a small level, like guys that have these 1 through 4, 1 through 5 guys, like it's just getting that process going. And Greenius is a great training accessory that we have now, and a huge part of the business that you have. It's really a system in your business now. It's not even an accessory anymore. It's like you should be using this day in and day out.
We should.
But
thank you.
The common struggle that I still hear so much from guys, I can't find good guys. And it's like, I wonder if this is a big piece of the puzzle that's been missing.
Right.
Like they just don't know what the mission for that job is.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I do think there is like a genuine labor shortage.
For sure.
For sure. Yeah. But I do think once, like if we've done everything up to this point, right?
Yeah.
We've interviewed people for core
values.
Yeah. They've gotten in, they've shown and exhibited those values. It's really now up to us.
Yeah.
To how good or how bad they're actually going to be.
Yep.
And I know that I'm not abdicating self-responsibility. But if in fact they are doing all the things that we thought they were going to do, if they're not thriving in the job, we either haven't equipped them, empowered them, or supported them in some way, shape, or form, right? And then personal things can happen, like life happen. Life is always in session, Jeremiah. I know that for a fact. And so I do agree with you. Like if people are really motivated to like, that's why I need to do that well, and they understand the implications of it and also the upside of it, it really makes a difference in a day in and day out operational grind experience. Yeah. And because it creates purpose.
Purpose. When people know what their purpose is.
Big deal.
Yeah.
It's a really big deal.
And that may be your struggle, right? Like you may not know what your purpose is as a company. And you can't bring people in and lead them and cast a vision if you don't know what your purpose is.
Right. Yeah. The purpose can't be like, I just did this.
Yeah.
And I know nobody operates that way, but I think most people don't take the time because they don't realize how important it is to actually just write down what is our purpose, what is our mission, what are we trying to accomplish, what makes us great, what are the core values that we need. They think that's like a perfunctory thing, like don't do that, like it's a waste of time. It's not.
Yeah.
It'll guide everything that you do operationally. It makes every decision 10 times easier.
Yeah.
Right? I was at a session and I was talking about core values, capstone versus operational. Capstone values are like integrity, respect, honesty, like table stakes. Operational values are like, no, that's how you should do the job. That's how you should show up every day, right? And we were talking through like, what are your core values? Operational values, excellence. We are driven by excellence. Well, what does that look like? Well, I mean, when we're doing a job, if it's off, we're redoing it, right? Well, does everybody know? Yes. And they keep driving excellence. And so one of the outcomes of that is like we keep getting referral. The 90 percentile of our business is referral business because they just keep leaning in.
So good.
Yeah, it's like excellence. Like I will not tolerate anything other than excellence, right? Everybody's definition of excellence is different, but like they've committed themselves to it, right? And so everybody on the team knows, like, if it's not, there's no point in trying to shortchange this.
Yeah.
There's no point in trying to rush it. I'm not going to get gruff from the office when I say, like, hey, we're delayed because we've got to redo this, right? That means I'm going to be like, yeah, correct. Because it's a core operating value. Yeah. The person in the office is going to call up the customer and be like, hey, we're running behind. Here's why. But don't worry, we got you covered. We're going to get it knocked out, and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but everybody's got to be on the same sheet of music. Yeah. If not, it's like you can't demand excellence and be highly punitive.
Yeah.
When you're trying.
Yeah.
So.
And there's different. That's not what I don't want you to hear. Maybe you don't have to be. Excellence does not have to be your thing, right?
No.
There's companies that get by on speed,
Correct.
Right? And they fill huge gaps.
Yeah.
Hey, we need something in fast. Like, cool, we're speed. We're there in a day. Like, like they run that. It's kind of like you said earlier, everyone runs something different, and they succeed at it.
Yeah, exactly. What are you great at?
Just because it's different than the way that I do it doesn't mean it's wrong.
That's right. And excellence and precision obviously is like something that you say, like, well, everybody should be excellent and precise. Not necessarily, right? Like there are lots of people that it's like, I am totally comfortable with just come in, get it done, least amount of money, by the way. Like I don't want to pay a ton of money, and just make it passable, for my HOA, whatever it may be, right? And so,
and they serve a market. 100%. Like they solve problems. Yes. They help people.
Correct. Problem solved. I got you covered. Yeah. Now, you can make the case like, oh, we need to better the industry over that. Sure. But like, now you're talking about educating 350 million people. It's like, that's tough. And so, and so I think if you just get really dialed in on what you're great at, what your core operating values are, then the rest take care of it.
So coach me before we wrap up right here. So mine is like the way we have them set now is safety, quality, reliability.
Great.
That's how we have but I've never done like the operational. So like should I move some of those over?
I would lean into like, what do you expect them to do and act? How do you expect them to act when they?
So like would safety be something you move to operational?
So in the world of landscaping and tree care, I would almost make safety like a capstone value. Like
okay, yeah.
That's believe
just always like at all times.
Like there is no other option.
Yep.
Right? Think about it. Like, just think about the alternative of like not being safe.
100%.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm in agreement with you.
Yeah. And so I like to look for things like, well, no, what do you really expect out of people? Yeah. Like, so I'll share some of ours as examples. We before me, the extra 1%, forgiveness. Like you have to exhibit forgiveness to people, right? Accountable to outcomes, not accountable to work. Like that's one thing that drives me crazy when I work with people. It's like, yeah, I did it. And it's like, yeah, but did you actually accomplish the goal, right?
Yeah.
Just because you spent 8 hours toiling in the sun, and worked hard. I know you worked hard.
Yeah.
I told you what the outcome was, and you agreed on what the outcome should be. But we're not holding ourselves accountable to that outcome, right? Yeah. And by the way, that's like a common friction point when you're trying to manage people. It's like, we didn't hit the goal. So are you manageable? Are you accountable to outcomes or not? Right. And so I would start to think through, like, what are things that you talk about with people every day that drive you crazy at your core? It's like, man, you can't do that. Right. So customer experience. Like if you're high touch, like I'm interacting with a customer all the time, like you're going to set a core operating value around that customer needs to walk away shockingly refreshed.
Yeah.
Right. So that might be a core value. Like, shockingly refreshing. That's a operating value. Like, and then you would kind of find people. It's like, how have you ever exceeded a customer's expectations? Tell me exactly how you've done that ever, and why do you think it's important? Right. Yeah. And so I would just get really focused on like, what are the things that I need in my business to see over and over and over again that I need to stop talking about?
Yeah.
Those are like operational values. And I would also think about things that you would want your teammates to be like, hey, Jeremiah did this awesome yesterday. Like he lived this out through and through. Let's give him a t-shirt. Thanks. Or in a review, like the things you're going to talk about in terms of like, are you doing a good job or not? It's probably going to lean into one of those operating values. And so saying it out loud and getting it, codified into the organization is really important.
Because by having those, it gives them something to hit.
Correct.
They can't hit it if they don't know that it's not there.
And also too, like it gives you a lot of leverage. It's like
it gives me a way to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we both agreed.
Yeah.
And their values.
Yeah.
It's like there's no argument here.
Yeah.
I mean, you might disagree with how we get the job done. I get it. But like, we're not going to disagree on the value.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good. Well, Mark, is there anything that we've missed on the way?
No, it's just been a great conversation. It's shame on us for taking this long.
I know. It's supposed to happen right when you came on,
exactly,
I think.
Yeah. But I will tell you, thank you for being an awesome contributor to the industry.
Yeah.
I really enjoy your stuff, and thank you for being a loyal Element fan and proponent. The Element product is going to get tremendously better over the next 12 months.
Yeah.
We've done a ton of hiring of product and engineering people. One of the things I want the industry to know is like the only way we can be successful is actually getting out and sitting with you shoulder to shoulder. And all of my product people have a requirement to get out into the field. And so you'll see some of the stuff on social media, us going and visiting site customers. Yeah. We do that because we want the industry to know we're seeking to understand and learn to deliver the best product on the face of the planet for you, right? And we've hired a ton of talent into our engineering team, and I would say over the next 12 months, you will see a dramatic difference in the platform that you're using today. Obviously, with the advent of AI, we didn't get a chance to talk a lot about AI, but have me back on in 6 months. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it, yeah. All right. So it's being adapted pretty heavily?
Yeah, 100%. And
it's cool.
It gives companies like Element, not just Element, but companies like Element, who are typically systems of record, the ability to transform into a system of action.
Yeah.
And that'll be really powerful for the industry.
Yeah. It's going to be huge stuff. We're sitting here at an artificial intelligence conference, essentially, in Leanscaper. Leanscaper is being built on the backbone of AI. And the mission that Leanscaper has, the people they're serving, very closely aligns with Element. Right? That's why you're here. That's why Element is part of on this event. And I truly believe, like, both Marks, right, are here to serve. They're here to serve the industry. They're here to make each other better, here to make the industry better. And so we appreciate it, man. We appreciate what you're doing for it. I see Element changing every day, right? I see the updates. I see the things that are changing. Already so much stuff better. Things I've heard coming, like, yes, it's going to change.
Please
right?
Do that. Yeah.
Big things are going to happen, right? And so, and I would dare say, like, some of you guys that are frustrated with Element, hold on just a little bit, right?
Sure.
Like, hold on
also
a little bit.
Call us and tell us.
Call.
Yeah.
Make your concerns known, but things are changing.
Yeah,
things are changing. Yeah. So, well, Mark, where can everybody? What's the best way? I mean, goelement.com. I feel like is the best way to get in touch with Element stuff. Where can they follow you?
My email is mark@singleops.com. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I do not post on Instagram very much, but I do like all the other stuff that people do.
Yeah. There you go.
But yeah, just call me, email me. If you email me, I'll reply back, and my cell phone's in my signature. So,
awesome.
Yeah, text me, whatever.
I love it, man. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. It's been a great conversation, Mark. Like, seriously, thank you so much for taking the time.
Really
there's a lot of things you can be doing, and so I appreciate you sitting down and investing into our audience. Guys, we love you, appreciate we care about you. If we can ever help you, please reach out and let us know. You got Mark's email, literally the CEO of Element. Reach out, use it. Like, some people treat a feast like a crumb.
Yeah.
And some people treat a crumb like a feast.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you going to do with it, right? And you have access to people that are trying to help you. They're trying to see your business grow. What are you going to do with it?
That's right.
Take it and make impact today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Without any further ado, guys, that's going to wrap this one up. And we'll catch you here on the next one.
Awesome.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.